Welcome everybody, I'm the Sorrow, and we're back with Sunyshore Battle Federation Season 11, and today we're doing some power rankings. Little disclaimer right at the start, it took me quite the effort to make these, so if you would be so good, if you watch this video, to like it, to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on your opinion as well. As always, power rankings, these are entirely subjective to me, so if you disagree with them, please feel free to tell me in the comments or on Discord. I don't really care, but just make your voice be heard, of course. Starting us off, we're starting up with one of our low tier division. We've divided those into two because we had so many players coming in. We divided them into Shellos East and Shellos West, and starting us off is Shellos East. So 16 coaches. Again, I had to put someone last, right? So sorry if I really don't want to hurt anybody. This is just my subjective view and feeling. Of course, you may disagree, and yeah, if so, just let me know. Well, starting us off, we're starting off at rank 6, like last 8/16 for God Bless the Turtles, coached by Maxo Mix. Team consisting of Lycanroc, Porygon, Shaman, Mismagius, Galissopod, Minior, Persian Lolo, Sneasel, Hisui, Wishy-Washy, Golurk, and Rapidash. So right off the bat, one of the issues I had with this team is that you have like a lot of overlapping close to each other speed tiers, like two 115s, two 105s, and then after Shaman at 100, you go down all the way to 60 to like a Minior. I think with like shields down, it's also at like 100. So that's, but still, and the issue you will run into this season, I'm pretty sure of it, is that a lot of teams, anything from 99 to like, I think 75 or something, will run like Adamant Natures against you. And that's like my main critique point. You also have quite the electric weakness going on there. Also, like, you don't like water Pokemon as much. You have a good resistant Shaman, of course. Galissopod, Wishy-Washy take, that was fine, but those really do not, besides Shaman, do not appreciate electric moves, which you're also not that good into. Flying weakness is also there, little rock weak, but that's okay. In my opinion, hazard-wise, what I like about, like, you have your Galissopod as spikes, you have your Stealth Rock on like your Lycanroc as a lead, or your Golurk. I think even Minior could carry those theoretically. Where you might struggle a bit is removal, because like at first glance I do not see much of that. However, if you can counter hazard stack effectively, you might be alright still. But yeah, and then also your only Terra Captain being Porygon, which if it was P2, which we don't allow because it's just too fat in my opinion, would be just, then that's like another Terra Captain that's a bit more immediately threatening than this Porygon. I would be cool in my opinion. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Anyway, good luck to you, of course. Just because you're last year doesn't mean you'll be last in the season, and I'm looking forward to you prove me wrong. Also, what I forgot to add real quick, like your pivoting is mid. You have like Persian and Wishy-Washy can pivot, Porygon can teleport if it comes. I think the rest is kind of stuck on the field, so yeah, that's also something, like really low pivot, like really little pivots. Also, no Fairy and no Steel hurts this team a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Next up, bringing the Prideful Spores and the Nudgy Hamter. Hamter, I'm sorry. I will get decked by this team again, because Arctovish in the snow is hurtful, but if you look at the team outside of snow, it's just so damn slow. Like, you have Ninetales at 100 and then nothing down to Alomomola, which won't run speed, so you're basically putting all your speed into a base 55 speed mon that basically gets outsped by a lot of Scarfers. And if you look at the type chart, your team is really punchable. Like, the combination of Close Combat and Knockoff does a lot to you. No Fairy type, again, in this meta, not as bad. No Dragon as well. I'm just not the biggest fan of the team comp. Trapinch is cool. Terra Captains, like the Dottler and the Trapinch, like Trapinch, cool. Ninetales is okay, I guess, but without Drought, which we've banned, not as great as well. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to what you can do with the team, really. Like, webs might be key for this team to function as well. So yeah, really intrigued where you take this. But for me, that's just not bringing it. Next up, myself. Like at first, like you can see right away, no steel type, no dark type really hurts me a lot. I have these as Terra types on my Crabominable, of course, but yeah, it would be better if I had one of those outright. So I might have to consider making some transactions in that department. We'll see about that. Fire weakness isn't as bad with an Armor Rogue around that, and also Dragalge, which come in on those rather comfortably. The ice weakness also isn't that bad with Armor Rogue, Water Tauros, and Glastrier running around, so I'm not as worried. Flying weakness is bad though. Like my flying, my psychic weakness, rock weakness, like I have a lot of weaknesses on this team. When drafting it, that will be quite hard to pivot around, but pivoting I will do. I get lots of pivots in Dragalge, Golbat, Whimsicott, Step Strike, and yeah, like basically those will have to pivot, let my other Pokemon come in, and then basically have them do stuff for me. So that's how this is most likely supposed to work for me. Yeah, elsewise, I think I don't want to ramble on too long about my team. Might make some transactions on the line if things don't pan out well, but for now we're rolling with it, and yeah, moving on. Next up, we got the Blue Zebras, coached by X Castro. Again, one of the slower teams, which you quite often find in low tier, but you have webs from Shuckle to remedy that a bit. Arbok and Pikachu are formidable Terra captains, I want to say. Yeah, Pikachu just is so, like, you underestimate the damage, but base 90 speed with the Light Ball and Terra normal, E-speed, fake out, all that stuff. That thing will do damage. Pikachu cannot be underestimated. Tauros is good. Tinkaton's probably the best fairy running around. It's also a steel, so Altaria, again, great Pokemon. Not even a Terra captain on this squad, but it doesn't need to be necessarily on this team, I feel like. Yeah, Weezing, just good defogger, good defensive Pokemon. Double rocking, double fairy. No fire type, no grass type. Is a bit mad. It's also kind of the reason I got this so low, basically. Elsewise, it's a pretty decent team in my opinion. You got your hazards, you got your removal. However, your only removal being like defog from Weezing will force you into that move quite a lot, but for the most part, you probably want to be the one stacking those hazards anyway with your Shuckle. So yeah, intrigued to see where we will go. Moving on. Next up, number 12, Little Root Nightmares, coached by Name. Got the Ribombee, Swampert, Drapion, Cryogonal, Grumpig, Rotom, Delphox, Virizion, Tatsugiri, Pawniard, and Fearow. Terra captains you can see down here. So I think those are pretty cool overall. Like those make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, speed-wise, this looks good to me in my opinion, and like this gap here is negligible in my opinion. But also potential sticky webs from Ribombee to remedy your rather low top speed of 108. But that's fine, I think. In my opinion, it should be fine. Got T-Spikes, got Spikes. You have your Rapid Spinners in Tatsugiri and Cryogonal. I think Fearow could even defog if need be. Swampert is an excellent rocker. Also gets you momentum with Flip Turn. So, yeah. Like a rather balanced team, but bit weak to Fairy, but there aren't as many. Yeah, elsewise, little Edgequake weak because lots of Pokemon, yeah, that don't care about Earthquake, really don't like Stone Edge, so I will say that. Yeah, but overall, pretty decent team, which a lot of teams in this draft are, so yeah, like I had to make some tough decisions here. So yeah, but overall, I really like this team. I would use this myself if I could, so yeah, good, still very decent draft. Next up, number 11, the Indianapolis Colossal, with Barraskewda, Farigiraf, Charizard, Koffing, Scepter, Magneton, Guzzler, Pinsir, Carbink, Mudsdale, and an Ice Cube. So Barraskewda we've allowed this season for the first time because we have no Drizzle in this tier, so it hits hard, it's fast, of course, but without Rain, if you want to set this up manually, you obviously can, but not sure if it's worth it. So yeah, good, fast, hard-hitting Pokemon, which I think at the cost we put it at 19 points. I think it's fair. Farigiraf, great wall, great wish passer, 3 really good abilities if you want to use them. Charizard in this tier with boots is actually not bad at all. Also has a variety of sets. Can Sword Dance, can Dragon Dance, can Belly Drum, can also just be can run defog, of course, can run special sets like specs if you keep off hazards, which this team struggles quite a bit against. I'm gonna be honest, like you might have to run defog Charizard, and I'm not sure if it even gets it, but I think it should, right? I think Charizard should be able to run defog. No, you can't run defog on Charizard. You actually do not have any removal. Which makes this quite tough for you, honestly. Like, hazards are really good into you. You might want to run a lot of heavy-duty boots on this team. But yeah, otherwise, I think it's a really well-balanced team. Scooter and Sceptile are 2 of the speedier Pokemon in this metagame. Magaton's not to be discounted. A little bit on the slow side, but still overall, I like it a lot. So, yeah. Decent draft. Just maybe you might want to consider pick up something that can remove your hazards. Next up at number 10, we got the Knoxville Beartics, coached by Pretend to Play. With Registeel, Rotomo, Typhlosion, Hisui Cycle, so Overqwil, Alcremie, Whiscash, Dodrio, Grapploct, Colossal, and Chimecho. The Dodrio and Grapploct seem like really nice Terra Captains to me in this metagame. I'm not gonna lie to you, those look really, really good in my opinion. Registeel, we also re-allowed into the league because like there's an abundance of fighting types that can deal with it, or fire types, or even ground types. Like a lot of Pokemon hit it really good. Still really good threatening Pokemon like Double Dance with like Iron Defense plus Amnesia, or just Iron Defense Body Press. It can run. It'll just be regular defensive stuff, Rock Thunder Wave or stuff like that. So overall, really great, really good additional steel type I think we've allowed this season. Rotom for pivoting. Typhisui is scary. Like Ghost and Fire is, in my opinion, phenomenal offensive typing. Cyclosaur is probably one of the best, if not the best, rapid spinner in all the tier. Overqwil, good intimidator. Gets flip turn as well, I think, so you actually have some pivoting you can do with this Mon, if I'm not mistaken. Can check up on that real quick. You do not get flip turn, which is kind of sad in my opinion. I think you should get flip turn. You should give this flip turn, in my opinion. Might just be me though who wants to see that. Alcremie is a decent mid-tier fairy in my opinion. This tier Whiscash is really cool in this economy. Gets spikes, gets rocks. Now can Dragon Dance up as well. So actually not too bad in this metagame for itself. Dodrio, Grapploct as Terra Captains I like a lot. Colossal is another good rapid spinner. It's also get rocks and spikes. And Chimecho is just a good lower tier wish passer. To just be fat, be annoying, and heal up your team. Also can cleanse your team. Hazard wise, as I said, you're set with Colossal, with your Overqwil, with your Registeel, with your Whiscash. You have good removal as well. So yeah, this team looks also really solid to me. Main critique, the speed gap here is, it's still okay in my opinion, but like if your opponent doesn't predict you to bring Dodrio, you have kind of a gap to fill there, so that's something you could critique, of course. But other than that, really solid team overall. So yeah, just a really good middle of the pack draft in my opinion. Next up, we got the Dynamic Dittos, coached by Times, who picked up also newly allowed here Monkey Dory. Not sure if we'll keep it or reban it right away after the season. We'll see about that, honestly. But Monkey Dory, Copperajah, Florges, Flamigo, Acelgor, Toadscroll, Lantern, Glaceon, Duskclops, Mabosstiff, and Wartortle are the squad. Terra Captains, Glaceon, Duskclops look really good to me. Glaceon as a Terra Captain is really, really good. Actually does stuff with its good special attack, solid. Then actually, it can actually use its defense stat once it stops being an ice type. And yeah, so can also just be run as a little wish passer. Fairy and steel types are great. No dragon is a bit meh, but I'll be forgiving to that. No fire type is also something I do not enjoy as much. But again, I don't think it's the end of the world. Your fire type weakness and your flying weaknesses are not great, I've gotta say, because once one of your two water types go down, fire Pokemon go in on you. Like Florges has to take a lot of hits as well for you, so that's something to keep in mind. But other than that, yeah, not much to critique here really. Like the gap between a Selgor and Monkey is a bit mad, but still manageable. Mabosif is a really cool Pokemon, the best Segotmon. This thing does a lot of damage. And yeah, you get your hazard stacking with a Zelgor as well. Rocks on Copper. Removal in Toadscrew, in Wartortle as well, of course. Florges can defog, so you're set there as well. So yeah, again, really solid team overall. Not much to complain in my opinion. Next up at number 8, Toledo Toxicroak, coached by Berserk Pigeon 21, with Mega Manectric, Quagsire, Tropius, Alodon, Sandslash, Comfey, Illumise, Regirock, Claydol, Double, Salazzle, and Vanilluxe. That last round Vanilluxe pickup is really cool with the Sandslash, because that actually makes the Sandslash able to be run offensively. As often with these snow teams, fire types are a problem, but you have a Regirock and a Quagsire that should take these hits reasonably well. A bit Edgequake weak overall though, because like your 2 edge resists. I mean, you have a Claydol that can switch in on both, of course, but I'm not sure if Claydol will be there every week necessarily, because if it's not, you're running into some trouble. Removal is fine, you got your Rapid Spinners there, of course. Comfey could also defog if need be, as can Illumise, I think. So yeah, that's good. Illumise is also a really cool support Pokemon for this team, in my opinion. Yeah, as well, not much complaints against this team, really. This little Snowcore here is really cool. We actually have a Aurora Whale banned on those, but still decent in my opinion. Yeah, Salazzle is a really cool Pokemon to Toxic everything. You also just re-allowed that. So yeah, also not much to complain about with this team. Speed tiers look solid enough. 115 could be a bit problematic, but I think you can handle this reasonably well as well. So Double is another cool lower tier Pokemon as Terra Captain. Tropius and Illumise also look really good in that role, I'm not gonna lie to you. And yeah, just overall really solid team in my opinion. Can't wait to see what Pigeon does with this. Next up, San Antonio Espers, coached by General Snowrun, with Sharpedo, Slowbro, Galar, Camerupt, Mega Slurpuff, Wacky, Hitmontop, Bastiodon, Talonflame, Electrode, third, and Snowrun as the mascot pick. Appreciate that as well. Actually, Snowrun as one of the Sharkcats, because they had like points left over, is really cool. Yeah, like biggest complaint to me would be the speed gap from Talonflame to Sharpedo, honestly. Edgequake's also again decent into you, but I think Hitmontop comes in just fine on that. But if Hitmontop goes down, you might take more damage than you like from that. Like you have Talonflame as an immunity and Thwacky as a resist, also to weaken Earthquake with your terrain is actually pretty cool. Third is a neat little lower tier pickup to maybe clean late game if everything's chipped accordingly. Slurpuff is a threat in this metagame for sure. No Dragon and no Ghost is a bit meh in my opinion, but still fine. Hazard wise, you have your rocks, you have your webs, which is actually, I think actually Slowbro gets T-Spikes if I'm not mistaken, so you're set on that as well. Snowrun might get spikes. I haven't actually looked into Snowrun at all, but you could maybe consider, yeah, it gets spikes, so you could actually consider running this with Terra Ghost as a lead. Or Terra Fire as a lead, just with like a Focus Sash, set up a spike, and then just die to go Ghost to block the spin, just to ensure that the little spike stays up. So yeah, actually, I can actually see the Snowrun come to one or two games even. Yeah. Other than that, pretty good Trick Room core, like Galarian Bro and Camerupt could very well go for a Trick Room approach, so I could see that working as well. Yeah, Bastiodon is just a really cool Terra Captain for the price it's at, as an Electrode, just a fast pivot, and this is just a really good wall once it terras. So yeah, overall, Snowrun, really cool team in my opinion. Spin support from Hitmontop, defog from Talonflame, so you're all set in my opinion. Speed Boost Torpedo is the main threat though, so yeah, watch out for that. So yeah, really cool team. Oops, good getting it out of the way again. Anyway, yeah, at number 6, we got Human. Back into the league again with Zorok, Hisui, Pheasant, Dippity, Cloth, Togedemaru, Ludicolo, Druddigon, Umbreon, Squawkabilly, Girder, Espion, and Jupiter. Right off the bat, Cloth, we've put that thing into Terra range for this season because no one ever used it when it wasn't a Terra Captain. So I really hope that Cloth can do stuff this season, can still also be just a hazard setter, as can be the Dradagon, as can be the Togedemaru, which I think should also get like rocks if I'm not mistaken. Let me see real quick because I actually have no clue. What does Togedemaru actually get? Oh, you can't actually rocks, which is sad. I'm actually thinking that this should get hazards. It at least looks like, or at least spikes, because I think it really looks like it should get spikes in my opinion. Might also just be me. However, this team has pretty decent pivoting with the Fez, with the Zoroark, with Togedemaru, with Squawkabilly, with the Espeon, which can Baton Pass, Umbreon can Baton Pass. Shout out for a double evolution, by the way, really cool. Ludicolo can run like Rain Dance set to set up its own rain. Dupiter is just a cool low-tier sticky Webber. Girder, good lower-tier fighter in my opinion, with Violet really bulky. Bit fairy weak, bit flying weak, but you have a Togedemaru for the flying hits, so I think you're fine there. Also good Wish Passer in my opinion in this lower tiers. Zoroark is the biggest threat. A bit on the slower side team, but I think overall it's really, really well balanced. Like, you're not even reliant on like defog because you have like Magic Bounce to bounce back hazards with your Espeon, so that's really cool as well. Yeah, overall, a really cool team in my opinion, can do a lot of work. Really intrigued to see where it goes. Coming in at number 5 is the Frankfurt Talonflame, coached by the noob himself, Miklas. However, this is probably the most Miklas team I've ever seen. Terra Captains, Leaf Unit, Masquerain, which is cool. Decent choice in Terra Captains there. I also agree with the types he chose there. Speed-wise, the gap between Neuver and Dashpan is a bit dangerous in my opinion, because of 110s even, I think, can just run Adamant on you now. But yeah, other than that, you compensate a lot of your weaknesses really well. Big thing is Edgequake, right? Once Doublade and Gastrodon are dead, you're dead. Because like your Earthquake immunities, besides Leafin, which won't be there every week, I can assure you, because your Earthquake switch-ins hate Stone Edge. It's actually not as great in my opinion, so you might want to be careful on that. But you have like a Hisuian Quill for Intimidate support with your Violet, and it's just really, really bulky, of course. But yeah, like Jolteon is a cool fast pivot, Neuven can pivot, Leafeon has Baton Pass, Blaziken can U-turn. Yeah, so you can bring in your threats. I will say... Oh, actually, your Hazard game is also decent with like Gastro, Quill, and actually webs from Masquerain, so I think overall you're looking pretty set there. Defog on Neuron's good, but actually Neuron or Mr. Rhyme has to come and run spin, so removal is okay, not great, but okay, but overall a really good team in my opinion. Good walls in Gastrodon, Dashpan, and the Quill, of course, so, and then just threats like Jolteon, like Equivalence, Masquerain even. Neuron can run Specs, Doublade can run his D-sets. Yeah, so overall, good team. Coming up next, number 4, Chicago Bull was coached by Honch. With Samurott, Sinistcha, Kilowattrel, Fortress, Nidoqueen, Flareon, Hitmonchan, Granbull, Meowstic, Drampa, and a Swirlix. So Swirlix is a nice sticky web lead in my opinion. I'll say that right away. Terra Captains, Flareon, Meowstic, great stuff. Really great stuff. I think Honch gets both Meowstic if I understand our tier list correctly. I at least hope so. So it either is the annoying support one or it is the female one with competitive. So yeah, might not want to run webs into this team. Really good spinners in Hitmonchan and Fortress. I think Drampa can actually defog if I'm not wrong. Can you? No, you can't, sadly. Oh, yes, you can. Drampa could also be defog if it really wanted to. I don't think it would, but still. Granbull is a good mid-tier fairy in my opinion, just for the Intimidate alone. Nidoqueen has no sheer force in this metagame, so keep that in mind, but still, really good tanky Pokemon. T-Spike, Stealth Rocks, I think even Spikes, so does Fortress. Kilowattrel is a good fast pivot. Against speed gaps are a bit dangerous, I will say as much, but still fine in my opinion. And it's just Samurott Hisui. Also, no sharpness here in this metagame. Also, I'm just seeing that it has the wrong abilities in the Prep Dog, so I should probably fix that at some point. However, sharpness is banned anyway, so it won't hit nearly as hard with the Ceaseless Edge, but still, still a pretty good Pokemon all around for this metagame. But yeah, really great, really nice team. Sunyshore also freshly allowed in here, so yeah, we'll be a Terra fighting this good as team, Hunch. Good job. Moving up, number 3, Brittany Brambleghast, coached by Bonnois. I hope I pronounced that correctly. With Mega Bayonet, Diancie, Duraludon, Orbeetle, Tentacruel, Rotom, Wigglytuff, Torterra, Amber, Perugly, and a Zorua. Speed curve looks really good in my opinion. Sticky webs from the Orbeetle I think help a lot for this team. Got some good pivot options in like the Rotom Fan. Yep. And Orbeetle can also just U-turn out to bring out your threats. Wigglytuff, Perugly, and Zorua as Terra Captains are also cool. Yeah, Tentacruel just also one of the better spinners. Grounded Poison type for the team, of course. So just don't bring T-Spikes. So bringing T-Spikes on that is really not as easy. Diancie also really cool pickup for this meta. A bit Earthquake weak, but I think you can play around this. Although, again, your Earthquake switch-ins do not like Stone Edge nearly as much, right? So you might want to be careful on that. Yeah, however, Torterra is a pretty good switch-in for Earthquake and Edge, so also can just Shell Smash up and be a menace to you, so yeah. Overall, really threatening team. If this gets up webs and then you get a Shell Smash off with like your Torterra or you get a Sword Stance with the Bayonet, terrifying stuff to fight. Your own hazards are also, again, they are plenty of Stealth Rocks, so... And I think this is also T-Spikes from Tentacruel, so I think that's all your team really needs. And yeah, that's a really good team in my opinion. I'm not looking forward to facing this should I have to. Yep. Coming up at number 2, Plasma Fists, coached by Archovim. Tyrantrum, Bronzong, Inteleon, Chestnut, Regis, Camerupt, Torracat, Audino, Mega, Drifblim, Skuntic, and an Emolga. Yes, again, this speed gap here I think is actually fine because there are not that many like 117, 118, 119 Pokemon that actually fit in here, so that's not as big of an issue as it looks like. This gap is also pretty good into the Torracat. Torracat also really cool lower tier pickup. Terra Captains, Regis, Torracat, Camerupt are great choices for Terra Captains, I will say. Yeah, your hazards are on point. Chestnut can spike, I think. Bronzong, Tyrantrum can carry rocks. Skunting, I think, has T-Spikes in this economy. But don't correct me on that if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, it does. Yeah. Removal-wise, you have your Emolga that can defog. I think Drifblim can defog as well. And that's about it. So you might really wanna stack those hazards yourself and have others defog for you, if that makes sense. Yeah, but just these first 5 Pokemon are really threatening, paired with Mega Audino, and you're in for a really rough time against this team, right? So yeah, pretty decent team overall. Or I should say, not looking forward fighting that. And yeah, moving on to our number 1, the Harleem Harayamas, coached by Kanava. I already fought this week 1 game. It was not fun to prep for, I can't tell you as much, because every single Pokemon on this team can do something. Like even this stupid little Surskit here can just set up Sticky Web and be annoying. Can then proceed, I think. No, actually, this thing can't pivot, I think. I think only Masquerain gets U-turn, but still. This thing still might be annoying. Just focus actually with webs, of course. Flygon, one of the all-time greats in this format. Gardevoir, Cavalier, Quillfish, Taurus, Paldea, Blaze, Serena, Rodenfrost, Ambipom, Misdreavus, Bombardia. Bombardia, Misdreavus, and Surskit being Terra Captains. Really nice choices, in my opinion. A bit on the flying weak side, but I think you can manage against it. And also pretty rock weak, which isn't great, but because like your steel type doesn't resist rock, so that's a bit But Earthquake on the other end is of no big concern to you with like your Serenas, your Rotoms, your Mistresses, your Bombardiers, your Flygons. Yeah, again, Serena, great rapid spinner. Again, one of the best in the format probably. Flygon could even put on defog. I think so does Bombardier, but I think you rather want to set hazards with that than remove them. Actually, Bombardier cannot defog. Interesting. But it can set up his own rocks, can U-turn. Actually, Rocky Payload is a really cool ability to just boost basically gives it the third step on rock move, which is cool. Misdriver's my favorite lower tier ghost. Ambipom, really threatening Pokemon once a few things go down. And yeah, overall, a really cool team. Double Intimidate also against physical attack was really great. Gardevoir, the premier fairy in this meta, in my opinion. So good. It's literally so good. Yeah, again, no fun facing this team. A bit more on the frailer side of things, of course, but still not super frail. Like, the HP isn't super high, but I don't think it's as bad if you have Double Intimidate. You have Trace on Gardevoir to just copy like immunity abilities again. Overall, I really, really like this team, hence why I've put it at number 1. And yeah, that's gonna conclude our Shellos East Division. Thank you all very much for watching, and I shall go now and record the rest of these, and I hope to see you all in that. So again, thanks for watching. Please, if you could, like and subscribe to the channel to help me do this thing, because if I see it gets the feedback, then I'll gladly keep doing it, of course. That's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one.